Do you ever just wake up and you're just like, it's gonna be a good week? Because that's exactly how this morning has started, which is a wonderful place to be. Like, I'm just like so ready to tackle the whole week and everything that I've got going on, which is a lot, but I don't know, like I'm like super energized and like ready to do it. So I just got back from my first class and now I'm finishing up editing a workout that's going on my Instagram as soon as I finish editing it, and then have some reading to do. Today is my like heavy reading and heavy work related day. I also have a meeting with for my legal practice class, because this week we are doing like oral arguments. So we're like arguing the content of our briefs that we turned in last week with another student. And so basically tonight's the like, here's how you do that sort of thing. So that'll be good. I've kind of like gone over my arguments with people. After I turned in my paper, I was on a call last night just talking through ideas with someone who's on the other side. So I have a little bit, but definitely going to be useful to get this session in, because I think it'll help me like figure out how to structure actually like giving the oral arguments. So we're gonna tackle that. But yeah, definitely going to do some reading. I'm also gonna make myself a second cup of coffee because I haven't had that yet, nor have I had breakfast. So also breakfast is on the table. And then we're gonna jump right into schoolwork. It's a few hours later and yeah, the energy is lasting to the point that I like only have had 2 cups of coffee today instead of 3, and I'm like still thriving. And I know that still probably sounds like a lot of coffee, but I promise in the grand scheme of things, very much not. Let's figure out where am I gonna put this camera down so I'm not at a weird angle. That's not there. I'm gonna get farther away from me and sit on my phone stand and hope that the camera doesn't fall off. So now classes are done. I have a lot of reading tonight, but I don't like starting it and stopping it, which is a weird thing, but I don't like doing half of it and then taking a break and coming back to it. And because I have a mandatory meeting about oral arguments in an hour, I'm not gonna start my CivPro reading just yet. And I'll do both CivPro and Con Law after that. So now I'm just gonna kind of hang out for a little bit. But I've also been, so I mentioned in my vlog last week that I am impulsively applying for a joint degree, so I would also get a master's degree at the same time as my JD, and the application for that is due today, but I have an extension on it. But I like have gotten all of the pieces of the puzzle together except for like one little tiny detail regarding how to submit the actual application done. So like theoretically, I think I could have it done. I think I could have it done tonight if I get this one email back. So that's fun. That's a new record for application time, I really think. So I'm proud of that. In my car outside the gym again. Maybe I shouldn't be, because on my way here I got hit with like an emergency weather alert saying that there's a tornado warning, which is deeply confusing to me because there are blue cloudless skies as far as I can see in every direction. So I am very confused by this concept. Is this a Midwest thing that I just not aware of? But like literally I've only ever seen tornadoes come like when other things were happening in the air and it wasn't a completely cloudless blue sky. I'm confused. So clearly I've decided to ignore it and I'm sitting in my car instead of seeking proper shelter. It's fine. And so I have Olaplex in my hair, and so I like washed it not washed it, but I just
got it wet last night and put Olaplex in, and like I'm leaving it in overnight. And I'm gonna wash it after I get done with the gym, so we're gonna see if it makes my hair super soft and shiny, because I'm always there for that. I also like finally put on self tanner last night for the first time in a very long time, so I like feel like I have some color to my skin. I also like screwed it up because then I washed my face and I like have like fun little like water droplets down the side that you can't see because it's too bright to catch that level of detail, but it's definitely there. So oops, I'm so bad at putting on self tanner, and I think at some point I might just cave and start getting spray tans. Even though I don't generally like how they look, I feel like maybe I could find one that I like, just purely for the sake of, I think it might do a better job of hitting everything and not getting weird lines everywhere like I do when I self-tan half the time. And they're never like in like a normal spot either. Like it's not like I like miss a spot. It's just like something weird happens. Anyways, I am also I'm like vaguely annoyed because I am basically stuck for my master's application. I have an extension, but I have all of the materials ready to submit, but I can't get past this like one little like technical structural issue with the application that requires me to do something that that I'm not supposed to be doing because I'm getting parts of my law school application transferred in. But the system doesn't recognize that, and I'm trying to figure out what to do, and I've emailed like 5 people being like, what do I do? And everyone like doesn't give me an answer. I just, it's like the dumbest little thing. Like, can I just plug in fake email addresses for recommenders since my letters of recommendation are coming in from a transfer source? It's just the one question I really need answered. It's just, or like, am I supposed to like plug in like someone else's email address, because I don't want to email the people who wrote my recommendations 2 years ago, obviously, because we have their recommendations, they don't need to submit new ones. Anyways, that's just like the fact that it's all boiling down, like my entire application is done and I'm stuck waiting on this one incredibly minute and like immaterial detail is so frustrating. So hopefully that will be resolved at some point today. I have sent another email being like, help, but for now we're gonna go work out, and maybe maybe I'll be less flustered by this if I get a good workout in. As promised, a good gym session really will fix everything. In the time that I was there, I got an email answering my question, so I can finally submit my application. We're good. We're in a good place. Also, I found out while I was in the gym that the tornado warning was a test of the system, which, like, I really think they should have put that somewhere in the alert. Like, the fact that they just, you know, sent out a, hey, there's a tornado, with no, like, hey, this is fake. I was questioning my entire existence for nothing. Anyways, we're gonna go now, and I've got to take my Fashion Pass order to FedEx so I can send everything back and get new things for the next month, and then go home and try to get a little bit of work done on my application before I have class. So I washed my hair, so it's like drying and is kind of a mess in the meantime, but I finished my application. So literally that was the last thing I needed. And then also they asked for a writing sample, and I don't, like, all of my legal writing samples are just not super relevant to the degree. So I dug through my undergrad papers and I found one that was like right under the like limit for how long they want a writing sample to be. And it was actually pretty good writing. Like, not bad, especially because in an ideal world, I would have found my thesis that I wrote to graduate, but I had my like whole computer wiped a while ago, and so I only have what's on this backup, which was from beginning of 2018. So I didn't have my last semester of college, which was a bummer, but it's fine. This works out really well. I think my thesis might have been too long anyways, and also maybe a little too mathy. Like it was a lot of data and a lot of regressions. So I wonder if maybe this version, which was less so, was maybe better in the long run. Yeah, so, but that's exciting. Like it's done, it's in. I have applied for this joint degree, and it, you know, I don't know when I'm gonna find out or whatnot, but it's cool that it's in and that I might be doing this thing. So it has been a wildly productive evening. I feel like this whole vlog is me just being like weirdly positive, which is not a bad thing. I just seem to be in a really good mood this week, and I am a-okay with that. Ow, I say as I stab myself with my earring. Ow. Anyways, I have made it through my criminal law reading for Thursday. I outlined, so we have oral arguments this week, and I was at the presentation for it last night. They gave us guidelines, and so I outlined my whole argument today. So I have like a pretty solid framework, and I practiced like delivering it in a persuasive way. And then watched myself back and realized that I'm a little terrifying, which is probably a good thing. Like, as in, I guess, very persuasive, terrifying, like a good kind of scary. A good kind of scary is honestly probably a pretty apt description of me in general. I don't know if I come across this way in my YouTube videos, but like, so many people that I know are like, have told me in some way or another that I'm intimidating or scary, and yeah, I don't know why, but delivering my little oral argument, I could start to see it a little bit. So, and then I did also some outlining for my criminal law paper, which is not due for a while, but I'm trying to have a draft done this week/weekend if possible. Because my professor gives feedback on the drafts before we submit, and so I want to get him a draft sooner rather than later. And yeah, I'm gonna try to crank it out, but that'll be what, tomorrow, and then probably Friday and maybe into the weekend is for. For some reason my brain thought it was 8 pages, and it's like supposed to be around 16, so double. So it might take a little longer than I originally thought. And then now, both my constitutional law and my civil procedure classes have like written problems this week, where basically they're like practice exam questions. And so that's what I'm gonna do now is my civil procedure practice question. We have to like submit it as basically just a pass fail. Like, it's not actually a graded assignment. It's not part of an exam or anything, but kind of a way of testing how much we know so far. And I think that's probably good that I'm able to discuss what I've learned. So going to work on my Civ Pro 1 tonight, and then do my constitutional law 1 tomorrow. Well, good news, I actually understand civil procedure a lot more than I thought I did. Like, I opened the practice problem and was overwhelmed, which I feel like is kind of a thing that happens the first time I take any sort of practice thing. And then just like cranked out a wall of text. Like, the requirements were like, don't go over 2 pages single spaced, and I was like, how am I gonna ever go over 2 pages single spaced? And then I literally just got rid of a sentence so that it would it wouldn't go into a 3rd page. Anyways, I think that's a good sign. So it's done, and it's done early. That took me 45. It took me 45 minutes to do, and I gave myself 2 hours, so I think we're good. We've got some time to do other things tonight, which is nice, because I assumed I was just gonna be working right up until I went to bed again, which is not my favorite thing. I like having a little bit of time in the evenings to do something that's not schoolwork, and sometimes I don't get that luxury, but apparently tonight I do, so that's fun. It's another day. Today is another Wednesday with no class, so because I have oral arguments this week, we don't have class today, and therefore I've just been doing things, and this afternoon is going to be super, super productive. So this morning I had therapy, and then I just went to the gym and got my workout in, and now I am sitting in a Starbucks parking lot. I have gotten the iced brown sugar oat milk shaken espresso drink that I have seen everywhere, and it is like, oof, it's pretty. I love when drinks ombre like this, and I know that it like needs to be mixed up before I drink it, but I don't know what I'm gonna mix it with because I don't really have any mixing tools in my car, you know? Okay, we're just gonna, is this the best method to do this? Absolutely not. Is it the method that I'm going with because I don't know how else to get the espresso in the rest of the drink? Yep. All right. I think it'll mix better if I start drinking it and like, you know, tilt it, so. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really satisfying. I know I need to mix it more, but oh. Oat milk is like top tier, like best milk substitute hands down. It's the only thing I use in my coffee lattes at home, and I have been waiting for the day that Starbucks brings in oat milk, and this does not disappoint. Like the brown sugar is really great, and the like coffee espresso cuts through so nicely, and this has 4 shots in it as compared to like when you order a latte that has just 2 in it and you have to pay for an extra shot. This has 4 built in. This is gonna become a regular purchase. I love it. Can confirm it is just as good after being stirred. Now that we're home and I have showered, it is time for basically this like big productivity sprint where I'm just gonna try to get a lot of things done. There are, I say a lot, and it's 3 things, but the first is kind of the easiest one, so my civil procedure reading. It's not too much, it's like 15 pages. So first up is that. Then I have a practice problem for my constitutional law class. I did my civil procedure one yesterday, constitutional law one today. It's basically just a essay question, like an exam. And I think this one's supposed to be, I believe he just said under 1,500 words, which will be longer than what I wrote yesterday, I think, but not by much. And then the third thing is that I'm going to try to work on my paper for my criminal law class. So I've been doing research for a while now, and I kind of have an idea for the structure of my paper, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start writing it and see how much I can like get onto paper, and then kind of figure out where, if anywhere, there are gaps in my research and I need to go like find new things. So, but that's kind of the goal for today. So just powering through those 3 things and we'll be in a good place. So we're making progress on things. I finished my reading and the practice problem and felt pretty good about it. I did it in about an hour, so it was like very speedy, but there's definitely like a difference doing like practice exam questions this semester versus doing them last semester, just because like even though the subject matter is different, like I have a lot more experience with like writing answers to questions in like the general way that they're supposed to be written. So it's definitely helped. Why are my bangs like this? Some days they look nice and some days they just decide to ruin my life. And so today seems to be one of the latter. Yeah, but I have 1,300 words of it written. Once again, it's a pass fail, so it doesn't matter. But I think I like got all the issues and like answered it relatively close to how I would have answered an exam question. So that's good. And then have started working on my paper and basically have like 20 Lexis tabs open doing research and pulling things from different articles and statutes and all of that fun stuff. So, because it's a much more involved paper than just like cranking out 1,000 words in an hour. So
it's taken some time, but I also paused to make dinner, which I can't really, there's caramelized onions, but I haven't made this one in a while. It used to be like a really common recipe for me, and it's basically just like sweet potatoes, black beans, and caramelized onions in tacos. Insanely simple and so good. Like those three flavors just mesh really, really well. I used to also put cheese, I think. It was either cheese or sour cream, something. I put like some sort of dairy thing on them, but because I just don't really do that anymore, I'm mostly vegan when I'm cooking at home for myself. I don't have any cheese, so I'm just gonna do those 3 ingredients, but they're so good and so simple. And I did the sweet potatoes in the air fryer since it's just a lot easier than the whole process of trying to bake them, and then caramelized onions on my stove and black beans. We're done. It's super easy and super, like, literally the onions are the only thing that require any sort of effort, which is great because I don't want to put in a ton of effort to cooking because I have a lot of other things that I've been doing today and a lot of things still left to do. So didn't want this to like be an actual involved process. All I had to do was push some onions around a pan for 20-ish minutes. I don't know how long it's been. Something like that. Literally decided to film an update right before taking off my makeup, so I have my little headband on. But yeah, I wrote about 800 words of that paper, which is about 4 pages. So, you know, it's progress. That's A, 4 pages I didn't have before, and B, about a quarter of what I need to have written. So we'll take it. I will expand on that with some more time that I have on Friday, and then maybe bleeding into the weekend if I need more time to finish it than that. I also played Among Us with some friends for an hour or so. So that was my like fun little evening activity. And now I am winding down. I'm about to take my makeup off and do my whole skincare routine and go to bed because early class tomorrow. Okay, we are done with class for the day. No, I have class tomorrow. Just kidding. We're not done with class for the week just yet. I do have my 1 class tomorrow. But made it through. So I had a information session this morning about the summer public interest funding, basically kind of giving us a lot of the background as far as all the paperwork and HR stuff that we have to fill out to basically get paid through the school. I still don't have my position locked down yet, and one of the positions that I'm waiting to hear back on would be a paid position. So I don't even know if I'm gonna need it, but I had to like go and them tell me how to fill out my HR paperwork. So that's been done. I also don't even know how much of that I actually need to fill out. I might not have to I might have technically done some and or all of it because I also get money from the school separately from summer funding. So it might have been a waste of my time, but I went anyways. Also had class. We went over the review problem for my constitutional law class, and as promised, I missed, I guess, one argument that I probably should have had in there. So like it wasn't a perfect answer, but I also feel like I definitely dominated the conversation a little bit. Like he was basically just asking for volunteers, and if no one raised their hand in a certain period of time, I was just like, why not? Like I don't know, I was just in that mood today where I was just like, why not just like contribute endlessly. So I might have like leaned into like the worst law student stereotype of just like aggressive teacher's pet. That was not my intention. I just wanted to do it today and I had fun with it. I didn't like cut anyone out, so it was just a matter of like no one else was raising their hand, so I figured I would. So I like to think that's different than like the gunner who like raises his hand and asks an extremely obscure hypothetical question to sound smart. I wasn't trying to sound smart, I was trying to give answers and not sit in awkward silence. So we now have, I'm going to work through my outlines for the week that go over the cases and stuff, then do some reading for my legal practice class, and then practice my oral argument with one of my friends. We're gonna like argue as if we were arguing with each other. And then I have my actual oral argument at 7:30 tonight. So it's very late and I'm still gonna have to be doing like school things, which is not my ideal setup, but yeah, it was like one of the last sessions scheduled. So love that for me. But yeah, we're still on a work grind. Let's go. All right, oral arguments are done. I like added red lipstick for like a boost of, I guess, confidence, slash, you know, I always put on makeup at weird hours. So I feel like me putting on red lipstick at 6 p.m. is not actually that weird for me. So it is what it is. Anyways, we're done. I don't know. I did the things I was supposed to, and ultimately it's like a participation exercise, so I'm not like super concerned about being graded on my performance. So I'm just happy to have it done and focus more on the writing aspect. I don't know, and I haven't known for a while, like whether or not I actually want to do litigation type work, or if I want to like exclusively stay out of that and only do transactional stuff. So who knows, or just straight up policy work, which is kind of where I initiated to begin with, but also like have thought about impact litigation, so I would still be, you know, doing litigation. So I guess, I don't know, this hasn't like completely foreclosed, like I would never do that ever again, but also not like game-changing, life-changing experience. I'm also like not super passionate about the issue I was arguing, which might, you know, be part of that. That being said, I got comments about how passionate I seemed, and it's just because I am a dramatic human by nature. So even when I'm presenting on topics I'm not particularly attached to, I have off and I have like fully on 100%, and there's no like middle ground. So it was like full force. So anyways, that's done. I am currently weighing in my mind whether I want to go out and get ice cream, or if I just don't want to move from my desk. So that's been like a battle for the past 30 minutes, which is sad, but eventually I will move. I will either move to my car and go somewhere, maybe through a McDonald's drive-thru. I feel like that's the easiest way to do it. Alternatively, I will just move over to my couch and read all night. So one of those things is going to happen eventually once I get around to moving from the place that I have decided that I'm stuck in for the foreseeable future. I put white strips in, so I think I made the decision on ice cream for myself in the negative. I can't explain why I woke up this morning and chose like emo manic pixie look for class, but I did. So I went to my legal practice class with these cute little pigtails and bright purple lipstick. I regret nothing. So I look cute, honestly. I like this. I know it's not everybody's look, but gosh dang it, is mine. So anyways, yeah, we're done with class. That's great. It's out of the way. Basically, we were just going over, now that we've turned in the first round of briefs, we now have a second one. And this time, instead of getting all of the authority like handed to us and like working with a packet of cases, we have to do the research ourselves. So I will be starting that at some point. Many people are ahead of me and have already started their research, and I just sometimes it confuses me how other people in my class have like so much time for all of these things, that they can get so ahead. I don't know. I do things when I need to get them done, and I feel like I do things decently far in advance, and somehow I'm never on that level. But clearly this works for me. Like, the system that I have works for me. It has gotten me where I am. So I'm not gonna be changing anything about that anytime soon. So I feel like I've definitely mentioned this before, but it is just weird slash stressful to like hear people talk about their study habits and their whatever and be like automatically comparing like maybe mine aren't good enough, maybe I'm not doing it right. And I think that's so stupid. I think you need to figure out what works for you, and what works for someone else, what might be someone else's style of working on things, isn't gonna be the thing that fits for you. Like I know people who write their briefs and write their papers by like doing, you know, like 30 minutes a day. That will never and has never worked for me. I do my best work when I'm like sitting down for like hours on end, just like cranking it out and then kind of going back and taking time later to look at it. But if I write in like a bunch of tiny sessions, my writing's gonna end up super disjointed and it's just not gonna be my best work. So I do what works for me, constantly reminding myself that just because this is how other people do it, it's not how I have to do it. Also, I have a bagel in the oven because I don't own a toaster, but I should probably take it out before it like burns. But yeah, to conclude that point, figure out what works for you and like stick with it is advice that I like have to yell at myself regularly when I start feeling like I'm not doing things right because other people are doing things differently. No, I'm doing things the way that they work for me and the way that they have worked for me. I'm not gonna change that. Wow, I am very, very pale in that. Like I have multiple coats of self tanner on and I'm still like this. Love that. I'm like almost purple. Ooh. But anyways, I will get to the researching stuff eventually. I will probably start that sometime next week. But today is the day that we sit down and we really crank out my criminal law paper and try to get as much of that done as possible so I can shoot off a draft to my professor and get his feedback and make changes before the actual due date. But that's kind of it. I'm going to go to the gym first, so gonna have to I can work out with my hair like this, right? I don't know. Alternatively, I could just redo it later, but it's a look and I'm sticking with it for the entire day. But yeah, gym and then come back and then it's paper time. We're gonna do, if there was another vlog recently where I did this with my clothes brief, and we're just gonna spend the entire afternoon / evening consuming caffeine until I have a completed work product. We're writing the thing. So it is 10 p.m. now. I have about 2/3 of it done. So I think we're just gonna push through and write the whole thing in one sitting. You can like, I feel like I forgot that I had to film the rest of this vlog. So you can kind of see me coming apart here, like the pigtails came out, but my hair's still kind of like stuck that way because it was sitting like that all day. And the lipstick is like mostly off at this point. It's just like lip liner. So here's the very real shot of me gradually coming apart as we get later in the evening. It's not evening at this point, it's only night. You can't call 10 p.m. evening, I don't think. Anyways, we're gonna keep pushing with this, and to save me from unraveling further and then having to do this vlog outro, I'm gonna do it now. So good night. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, there's a subscribe button. I post videos twice a week, all that good stuff. Time to go fry my brain with more words about criminal law stuff.